As you can see, I've been a collector of patterns. Lots and lots of patterns. Well, as I mentioned, I'm retired from sewing now, so I don't need all of these patterns anymore. So I am donating them to my daughter, who has now started her own sewing business. But as you can see, I keep them in these shoe boxes. But I'm going to show you how to turn these shoe boxes into this beautiful, neat pattern box. All that is coming up next on Sewing and Crafting with Nyler. So I narrowed down 5 boxes down to 1. So these are the ones I'm going to keep. But as you can see, my box is kind of worn, and I wanted something kind of nice to dress up and look pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and cover my box. I'm going to show you how I'm going to make a really nice pattern box that I can use with the handle. So I'm going to remove all the patterns out, set them on the side. Now this is a shoe box. This was for my husband. He has a much bigger foot than me, of course. So it's a nice longer box. But as you can see, the box is really getting a little worn out. So we're going to have to kind of do some reinforcements on it. Okay, so I want the sides to come up a little higher in the back and then slope down to the front. And I want them about the height of the pattern itself. So I'm taking a piece of 8.5 by 14, a scrap piece of paper. And I'm just going to lay it inside. And it almost fits perfectly, but just a little bit off. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my pencil and a ruler. This is going to be the front and this is going to be the back. So what I want to do is I like the length of this. So I'm going to taper this down to nothing. So I'm going to take my, I need a longer ruler. I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to angle it so that the top lines up with the top of the paper and the bottom lines up with the box. And I'm just going to draw a line. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut out that line. So now if you were to take it and sit it inside the box this way, you see now you got that angle where it comes up higher. So if you put the pattern in, you see it's coming up about the height of the pattern. But the good thing about this is we're going to slide this closer to the edge so that when we put the pattern in here, we want this to come up about the height of the pattern. So you'll just have to adjust it on the inside to get it to the height that you want. I know that my pattern comes up 4 inches higher than the box. So I know that I need this to be 4 inches, and then I want to put it about 1 inch on the inside. So maybe about 5 inches. You can do 6 inches if you want to put it 2 on top. So I'm going to measure 6 inches. And mark that. So what I'm going to do now is just take this paper and fold it. And then fold it again. And I'm doing this because I like to do major cuts and do them one time. So now I got this folded over like so. So I'm just going to cut across that line. And then I can unfold it. Because this is just a pattern. So. And now I'm going to remind myself I need to cut 2. Because this is going to go in like that on one side and then the same thing on the other side. So now you need to find 2 pieces of cardboard to cut this out. So I have my cardboard. This is the bottom of a mason jar box. First of all, I'm going to square this up because it's a little rough. So now I have a straight edge to go on. So I'm going to put this on here because I only want to cut as small amount as possible. And this is my mark here. And now I'm going to use my ruler and draw my line on my cardboard to accommodate the size I need. And then I'm going to also draw this line straight across because you know I like to utilize space and less cutting. So now I'm going to flip it over, and now I can cut the other side right here, and we line it up. Okay, so now here are two cuts, and that's extra piece. So to start, I'm just going to cut the side off. That cuts both sides at the same time. Now you'll only do 2 cuts. And now we do the straight line for the other side. Excuse me, extra cardboard. So now we have our 2 pieces. Now let's see if it fits. And now we're fitting perfect. Okay, put that side in like that. So now they both fit. And that's giving me what I want for them. Now we need a piece for the back. Now the back needs to be whatever the width of your box is. And my box width is 6 3/4 inches. So we need a piece that's 6 3/4 inches by the height of your sides. 6 1/4. So 6 1/4 by 6 3/4. So I have my back piece cut, and it's just going to sit like right back here in the back. And these, of course, will sit up higher, and they'll just butt up in the back like so. To start with, we're going to glue the insert together first. So I'm going to start by putting glue on the edge of the end piece. And we just want this to hold in place because all of this is going to be glued. And it's going to be covered. So I'm just going to hold that in place until it dries. Now that one side has set, so I'm going to go ahead and put glue on the top of the other side. And I'm going to hold that one in place until it sits as well. Now our insert is temporarily set, so it's just a matter of setting it inside the box. And that gives us our height, so I'm going to hold it right here to show you that if you take the pattern, you can set the patterns in and you lower it as low as you need it, and that's about 2 inches what we said. So there the patterns will sit there and just kind of gives it a nice little angle. Alright, so now I'm going to work on this end because this is the front. As you can see, it's a little worn, so I need to reinforce this. So for starters, I'm going to just tape it just to pull it back in. See, now you see it's all better now. So I'm going to go ahead and do another piece across the top. I'm going to go ahead now and place my insert in place where I want it. So you can see now that it's not sagging. I'm going to have to cut a little bit off. So let me go ahead and cut some of that off now. Okay, so now that my box is no longer sagging, I had to cut a little bit off the ends because now it wasn't going to fit. But now it looks like it fits perfect. So I'm just going to position it in place. Alright, so that tells us where we want to line it up. So I'm going to mark inside the box where the line goes. Because remember, all of this is going to be covered. Alright, so that's going to give us an area to put our glue. Alright, so we're ready for the glue. So I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to put a generous amount, and make sure you have plenty of glue sticks handy. And I'm going to put a generous amount. And you got to work really fast because this will dry super fast. I'm using the hot temp because hot temp doesn't dry as fast as low temp. So that's one of the bonuses. And remember, you're just trying to get it to stay in place because you're going to cover it anyway. Next, we're going to take our insert and put it inside and slide it in on the glue. And I can feel it sticking. So now you want to kind of adhere it down on all pieces, and you see it lines up with our lines right there. That's what we wanted. And now there's your insert put inside the box. Now because the insert is indented inside, we want to fill this up so we don't have any gaps on the outside. This is just some stuffing that's inside of a box, a shoe box, whatever. I don't even know what you call this stuff. I just know it feels real good. But anyway, I've cut a couple of pieces that I'm just going to put on the side. And what it's going to do is just going to fill in that gap and make this all smooth. So I'm doing one for one side, one for the other side. And then I'm going to cut a piece for the back. Okay, so I've glued it in place, and as you can see, it just makes everything flush, like it's all one piece all the way around.